TGIF, happy Friday, my friends. We have made it through another week. Hopefully you'll be able to let your hair down and kind of enjoy the weekend and enjoy time with your friends and family, whatever you want to do. But before we get there for the kickoff of the weekend and just enjoying ourselves, I thought I would share some more remote work from home jobs that are hiring right now for you. Of course, as always, if you want to get those applications in, read reviews on companies, get to any of the pages that I'm sharing, those links and timestamps are always in the YouTube description box below this video. I do just ask that if you enjoy anything that I share, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, like button, share with all your friends and family. And if you're new here, I just want to say welcome. This channel searches the internet and shares remote work from home jobs that are hiring on a daily basis, generally Monday through Friday. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, turn those YouTube notifications on so you don't miss out. Without wasting any more time on this beautiful Friday morning though, first up we have Natera hiring. Now Natera has 866 reviews on Glassdoor from past and current employees with an overall employee satisfaction rating of 3.5 out of 5 stars. Natera is looking for an insurance billing order entry specialist. Now, this is going to be a temporary position, but they're looking for somebody to basically enter new patient information as well as updating their current patient insurance information into their computer system. So you're going to have to verify the patient insurance coverage to ensure that the necessary procedures are covered by the patient's insurance coverage. You can verify insurance by a myriad of ways these days. One of them is the provider online portal. Another one is calling into one of those automated phone systems and, putting in all the little prompts and buttons, and then you enter the patient's insurance policy number and it'll rattle off like their benefits. And another one is actually picking up the phone and then calling and talking to a representative at the insurance company. Some medical or healthcare companies actually have computer software that can run insurance policy numbers through a bunch of insurance companies and bring you back results. Some healthcare, like Epic, I know has a real-time eligibility thing where you put in the patient's information and then you shoot it off and it comes back with like their benefit plan and things like that. So there are different ways that you can verify this information. But once you verify it, you're just responsible for entering the correct information into their computer system, processing their insurance documents, reviewing any data for errors, and just fixing those errors, double checking your work as needed. This only requires a high school diploma or GED and 1 to 2 years of related work experience. They do want somebody who's worked in healthcare industry or insurance and benefits before. You've got to be great at keying in information in the computer, great with details in a fast-paced environment, and of course you've got to know how to work basic computer systems. Now, pay for this position is anywhere from $16.43 an hour up to $20.54 an hour. Moving on along, still in that healthcare theme, we have Navient hiring. Now, Navient has 791 reviews on Glassdoor with an overall employee satisfaction rating of 3.4 out of 5 stars. They are looking for a healthcare receivables specialist. Now, they are looking for somebody to start September 9th. So that's about a month and a week or so. So get those applications in. They're going to be getting you hired and your paperwork processed pretty quickly over the next 30 days because they really want somebody to start on September 9th. Now, please note this is a remote position, but it is going to be a phone call center type position. Pay for this position is going to be $16.50 an hour though, and they are providing 3 weeks of paid training. Training hours are going to be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're outside of that time zone, you'll have to convert your hours to see if that works for you. And then your schedule is going to be just a little bit different. They're looking for somebody to stick to that 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, but then work a little bit later on Friday doing 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. So just make sure that that schedule will work for you. Navient is looking for somebody to perform those phone activities, so answering those incoming phone calls and also making some outbound phone calls just to collect patient accounts receivables for their medical accounts. So you are basically communicating with these patients regarding the repayment of their medical debt. And so you are trying to get them to either give you a payment over the phone in full for what they owe. Maybe they owe a copay or deductible that their insurance didn't pay, or you're looking to set up payment arrangements with them and take that first payment, or get payment arrangements and an agreement to pay from the patient. Anything to keep the account from going into bad debt and the patient not paying what they owe. So you're just performing account research and routing accounts through the appropriate client workflows, making sure that these payments get processed and applied to the patient's account. So they only require a high school diploma and 6 months of work experience, but they do prefer that work experience to be in a call center environment. They want somebody who can work with a computer, specifically a Windows computer, navigating different software systems. And you've got to have basic keyboarding skills. You've got to be able to type information into the computer system while you're on the phone with the patient, like taking their credit card number or something so you can process that payment. So this is going to require great communication skills, great listening skills, and of course, good math skills. If you're setting up a payment arrangement for them, you're going to have to be able to divide their balance by, like, if they're going to pay in 6 months, divide it to get those 6-month increments, things like that. And of course, one thing with trying to persuade patients to pay, you've got to be a very persistent person with this one. All right, moving right along. Next up, we have DoorDash hiring. Now, I actually have 2 positions to share from DoorDash. One of them is fully remote. We're going to go over that one first. It is literally creating training documents for them and is paying a little over $1,300 a week. The second one pays a little bit more, but it does require you to travel quite a bit for the position, or travel some for the position, but then you're also answering Slack messages for them. So without wasting any more time, DoorDash has 16,000 reviews on Glassdoor, an overall rating of 3.6 out of 5 stars. And they are looking for a learning and development associate for their DashMart department. Now, DoorDash is creating a new line of business called DashMart, and it is micro fulfillment centers throughout the United States offering fresh and local groceries to households. And of course, they are looking to up their training team. So they are looking for somebody to lead their onboarding and training experiences for their new hire population. This means that you're going to implement their continued education roadmap and learning strategies that they already have in place, teaching these new hires. And you're going to also help develop employee skills, supporting their net new training creation program. So what this means is you're also going to be creating new training documents. So you're leveraging their LMS, or learning management system. It's an online learning system we use when at work, to create engaging and effective learning experiences for these new hires as well as current employees. So you're just going to use strong communication skills for either live, like WebEx and Zoom trainings, recorded video trainings, or online training materials so that you can communicate effectively. So what this means is, I've taken classes in like LMS systems before, and it can either be a slideshow, it can be like a pre-recorded thing, kind of like this video that I'm doing here where I'm sharing my screen and showing you different things on the screen. It can be all kinds of different materials. It can be like a PDF training material with like screenshots or images in it. So you are just responsible for creating all of these training materials and getting them out delivered to the employees. Just being that creative expert in their learning and development department. Now, what they're looking for is somebody who is self-motivated and a team player, somebody who's willing to just sit down and get it done and do whatever it takes to get the job done. So somebody who's very organized, and you've got to be able to work well with Google Docs and Google Sheets. That's the Google equivalent of Microsoft, like Excel and things like that. They are looking for somebody who will show up and be present weekly, because you might be doing these live trainings. You're going to have to be camera ready. You might have to engage with these new hires over like a Zoom with your camera on. So just know that going in. They do prefer a bachelor degree with this one, and somebody who has 3 years experience in training or education. But pay for this one is going to be dependent on things like location and experience. It starts at $48,600 a year, goes up to $71,500 a year. Now, $71,000 a year is going to be little over $1,300 a week. And if you don't mind answering some Slack messages with a little bit of travel thrown in there, DoorDash is also looking for an associate for their Center of Excellence, again for their new DashMart department that they are developing. Now, please note this says United States remote over on the side. However, this role is going to require some time spent. They kind of list it as like a hybrid role because you're working from home, but you're also going to be traveling quite a bit to different DashMart sites. They are looking for somebody to really be part of their Center of Excellence team. So you're kind of making sure that these new DashMart locations follow a excellence program, kind of part on the training, but this is more for the sites itself rather than the employees that work there. So you're going to be the first line of defense, again, for their Slack responses and questions in other forums. So if they're online asking questions in forums and Slack, these new sites that are being built, maybe it's the managers of these sites and they have questions on what they're supposed to do with their employees or how they're supposed to run these locations, you're going to be answering those messages and just helping the training team with training creation. So this kind of goes hand in hand with the other position. You are going to be part of the training team, but it is more for the actual locations itself rather than the employees. So those are kind of split up. So with that in mind, you will need to travel sometimes to these on-site locations to help troubleshoot if they are not meeting their metrics and help get their metrics back up. So they are really looking for somebody who has 5 years experience in high performance operations, somebody who has experience in like either retail, warehouse management, learning and development, some kind of learning and development where you've actually managed other people, somebody who can be self-motivated and of course be a problem solver and a troubleshooter. Now pay for this one's a little bit higher than the other position that doesn't have to travel. Pay for this one goes anywhere from $59,800 a year up to $88,000 a year. Now next up we have Burlington Stores. It used to be known a long time ago as Burlington Coat Factory. Now I think they just go by the name Burlington. They have 6,600 reviews on Glassdoor, an overall rating of 3.0 out of 5 stars. They are looking for an associates relations specialist. Now it does say this is a remote role, but it does require you to have the ability to work in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So if you're outside of that time zone, you'll have to make sure those hours are going to work for you. But they are basically looking for somebody to partner with their leadership to assist in resolving the associate concerns. So the associates are like the cashiers or associates that work in the actual physical store locations. So this is going to kind of be like a human resource type department where you're working with those employees. You're going to demonstrate the company's core values, developing trust and respect among peers and leadership, processing and assigning all of the incoming hotline cases from employees. So you're going to review all the incoming steps or cases coming in through email and voicemails left on the phone line and handle accordingly. So you're assisting the associate relations team with pulse checks, intake interviews, witness interviews. So this is if somebody's reporting a problem, a concern, or something has happened inside of a store. You're basically reading that email or listening to that voicemail, and then you'll have to like contact people and ask questions, take interviews. You are kind of researching and assessing the situation to make a determination. So you're really investigating and resolving these minor workplace concerns and preparing monthly and quarterly presentations and materials for the company to release. They are looking for somebody who has knowledge of federal laws and regulations like wage and hour benefit laws, things like that. Somebody who has a high level of integrity, great time management, prioritization, and organizational skills. And of course, you've got to have great problem solving skills because you're really just researching and trying to find the answer to the problem or come up with a resolution to the problem. Now, pay is listed all the way down at the bottom. It is anywhere from $65,000 a year up to $80,000 a year. And next up, we have Cass Information Systems hiring. Now, Cass Information Systems has 220 reviews with an overall rating of 3.7 out of 5 stars. They are looking for a remote research clerk. So they are really looking for somebody to look into utility termination warnings, potential missing bills, and late fees, and kind of just research and either remove clients' late fees, respond to calls that come in through the hotline. So I know we've probably all been there. You get that notice in the mail that says, your utility bill's past due and your services are due to be cut off at whatever date if you don't pay it by this date. And maybe not all of us have ever had that notice, but I know quite a bit of us can relate. I can relate to getting those notices in the mail. So you are really just researching these utility termination warnings that come out, reviewing the customer's payment history, making sure any payments they have made or have applied to the account, checking the status of the account, determining if further action is needed, required on these notices. So do you need to send out more notices? Do you need to contact the customer? You'll contact the utility vendors, so the utility companies themselves, through telephone to determine the reason and the amount balance due. You're just verifying the addresses, the payments, if they've been made. And if not, trying to negotiate a date extension for the receipt of the payment. So you're trying to negotiate with the utility companies on behalf of the customer, making sure that maybe you can extend it and give them a little bit more time to pay. So you're really just processing payments, researching these accounts, resolving all of these billing issues with utility companies. They are looking for somebody who can communicate effectively, has great person skills, great organizational skills, and of course, basic computer skills. You've got to be able to navigate different software systems. You've got to have good math skills, since this is working with bills and amounts of money and past due, what's been paid, what's not. Maybe the whole amount is not paid, and so you've got to kind of calculate those. It only requires a high school diploma or GED, though, no college degree. And sadly, pay for this one was not listed. That'll need to be discussed with them at the time of the interview. All right, if you've made it to the end of this video, I owe you a huge thank you so much for watching and supporting me. As always, feel free to leave in the comments anything that you're looking for. I never make any promises, but I do read those and keep that in mind. Don't forget, if you enjoyed anything, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, like button, share with all your friends and family. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend ahead, and I'll be back really soon with more work from home job leads just for you.